Some more reports on United being linked with a left-back, an update on Frenkie De Jong, and also some conflicting reports around Christian Eriksen. Morning everyone and welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Alex and I am outside Old Trafford. No, you're right, I'm not Jay Motti. I'm definitely not Joe Smith. But I am back outside Old Trafford. And what I will do that Joe didn't do yesterday is give you a weather report, and it is glorious out here this morning. But let's get straight into it with some reports starting off from Florian Plettenberg around a new left-back for Manchester United. So Florian Plettenberg from Sky Sports in Germany tweeted last night that David Raum is high up on the list for Manchester United to be signing this summer. He says that the left-back will be available for about 30 to 35 million euros, which, to be honest, doesn't sound like a bad price for a left-back that last season in the Bundesliga got 3 goals and 13 assists. Now, he played a lot of last season as a left wing-back, as Hoffenheim tended to play 3 at the back, but he also played in the traditional left-back. Now, we did yesterday on the podcast, we talked about Tagliafico being signed by Ten Hag very, very early on, and being his mainstay left-back throughout, and him getting a bargain in nice and early and a full-back that fits the way he likes to play. Now, is this the one like Tagliafico was for him at Ajax, and him getting in a left-back that suits his system straight away? Now, there's loads of questions. Alex Tellers played a lot of games last season. A lot of people saying, is he good enough for Manchester United? There's obviously Luke Shaw, who has gone through phases of being the best left-back in the world as he was in the Euros last summer, to now looking like isn't in favour at all at Manchester United. So wait to kind of see what happens here. We've been looking a lot at the right full-back and whether it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Ethan Laird that gets replaced, Diogo Low that gets replaced this summer with another one. But we've not really looked at the left-back, and it looks like this one could be one that Erik Ten Hag is looking to bring in. Now, the end of this tweet that Florian Plettenberg put last night is that if Borussia Dortmund manage to sell 2 of their players, they may be looking at David Raum. Now, that to me sounds a little bit ominous, mainly because you know what it's like in the German league. Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund to some extent kind of sweep up some of the better players from lower down in the division. David Raum, one of those that could be coming into Borussia Dortmund. They like a bargain, Borussia Dortmund, and you could see that happening where he goes there, has a good few seasons, and then all of a sudden he's a 50, 60, 70 million pound fullback that someone ends up trying to sign. That was a little bit of a worry for me, is that are Manchester United just being used in this to try and get that price either up for them, or them to make the deal might move a little bit quicker for Borussia Dortmund and then go, United are interested in this, you're going to need to come in and do it. That's my only worry with this one. Is this just a paper talk thing where United are getting dropped in, or is this actual interest for Manchester United? We'll have to wait and see in the coming weeks. So next up, we've had updates in our 2 what seems to be priorities at this moment in time of Manchester United in Christian Eriksen and Frenkie De Jong. Jamie Jackson wrote an article in The Guardian, and there was also an article in The Times that kind of conflicting reports, especially in the Christian Eriksen scenario. Jamie Jackson came out, and it was a bit of a strange one. In the article, he kind of just drops it in there. He kind of just goes, Eriksen's rejected United. That, again, is conflicting to what all the other papers are saying, what everyone's saying, and it's just so subtle where you're not kind of sure about it. Jamie Jackson, a very reliable journalist, but go over to what the Times article's saying, which is that United are still interested and that Christian Eriksen is interested in the deal. He had an offer from Tottenham, but they didn't really follow up on it. Brentford have a contract on the table, and he is considering that and staying where he is. But Manchester United is still in the mix for Christian Eriksen. That is according to the Times. Again, I think I've mentioned this the whole way through. I think everyone's kind of mentioned this. Him moving to Tottenham seemed like the tap-in. It seemed like the thing he was going to get done. It was one that, they've got Champions League football. He's living in London. He's been there before. For a comfortable decision, Tottenham was the easy one for him to go there. And Manchester United, was that really an option for him to come up north and move away from London? However, Tottenham have kind of seemed to step away from this, and it looks like it's between Manchester United and Brentford. Now, from an outsider looking in, that's an easy decision for a player. Do you want to come and play at Old Trafford? But from what Christian Eriksen's been through, Brentford kind of getting him in there, something stable, something where he doesn't have to move might be the option he picks for next season. He will kind of dictate how much he plays for Brentford, whereas I think at Manchester United he will play a big part, and he won't be a starter every single week. So in these articles, it mentions that they're hoping that Erik ten Hag's relationship with him, where he's seen him, he brought him back in and allowed him to train at Ajax when after his health problems last year, they're hoping that can be the case if he can bring him in. Also, they've mentioned in there that Thomas Frank has taken him out for dinner and all these kind of things to try and persuade him. It looks like he's mulling over that offer and he's going to decide between Manchester United and Brentford. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham come back in for him later on. Now, the final update for today is that man himself about Frenkie De Jong. You wouldn't think we'd get through a video without mentioning Frenkie De Jong, would you? Now, this is coming from Jamie Jackson again in The Guardian. He writes that United are pretty positive. The bullish is the words he uses about signing Frenkie De Jong. And the feeling around the club is there isn't an if, it's a when we sign Frenkie De Jong. Which again is the kind of rumours that's been going around for the last few days, is that everyone seems happy, everyone seems confident and not to panic. Now, United fans, seeing the deals that Liverpool have done, seeing the deals that City have done, this is where that nervousness is coming from. The later and later it gets, the more and more nervous. Now, in these articles, it also mentions that Erik ten Hag would like to have Frenkie De Jong in before they play against Liverpool in Bangkok in a couple of weeks' time, which is the 13th of July, I believe. So it's not too far away. Was it 3 weeks away when we play that game? So he wants to have Frenkie De Jong for that. The opposite to the other thing it says is that if he can't get it done for them, they want him for the start of the season in the 7th of August. Now that is a big time frame in order to get that one done. That's 6 weeks kind of thing. And you can't have someone who apparently is so important to Manchester United Football Club that they want to build around and all this. He's the key player in terms of playmaking and all this kind of stuff. These are the reports that's how much Erik ten Hag wants him. You can't have him just before the first game of the season. You want him in for pre-season. You want him training with the squad for a while. We'll wait and see on this one. But at the same time, that's the frustrating thing at this moment in time. Now, I know there's the mention yesterday, we had the Richard Arnold comments this weekend saying this isn't about money and, they're trying to get the best deal. And I completely understand that. United do not want to get ripped off by a club who seemingly need to get cash in. They've been struggling. Their financial worries have been put out everywhere. They don't want to get ripped off and pay over the odds for Frenkie De Jong. But what is the worth of getting a player in before pre-season compared to before the start of the season? That will be yet to be seen. So that was the update with Jamie Jackson. In the Times, they mentioned that United are looking at alternatives. They are looking at that, but at no point are they thinking right now about walking away from the Frenkie De Jong deal, which again is a positive sign that we are looking at that and they are confident in that. It's good to see that there's potentially some alternatives if this doesn't want to go through. You don't want the scenario that David Moyes had, which is put all the eggs in the basket of Fabregas and last minute end up with Fellaini that you could have had a few weeks earlier, who is nowhere near the same player, completely different player. You need to have alternatives, so it's good to hear that United are actually looking at that. They're also mentioned there in the valuation of him. United value him at about 70 million euros, but Barcelona want 89 million, which would be similar, if not exactly the same, as what we paid for Paul Pogba. And now that one, think of the comparison straight away. That would be what would happen. You'd be comparing Frenkie De Jong and Paul Pogba all the way through. It's added pressure that you don't need to do, that you don't need to put in there. So hopefully this deal gets done, United get the right price, and United finally get their first player in the transfer window. That is all from me this morning. Make sure you are checking out the rest of the channel. We had a podcast yesterday where we looked at Ten Hag's transfer genius and what he did at Ajax. We've also got a great video talking about what Richard Arnold's role in the club. So if you've not already checked that out, go and do that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video. I have been Alex, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.